Hi everyone, so in this video I'm going to show you how to crochet this little girl's hat. So this hat can be made in a number of different sizes, and for all of the information on how to make the different sizes, please see the description box below. So thank you very much for watching, and please make sure to subscribe to my channel for more crochet videos. So to begin your hat, you want to start off by making a magic circle. So to do a magic circle, take your yarn and take your finger and wrap the yarn around your finger once, and then you want to wrap the yarn back over your finger to create a cross, like that. You then want to take your crochet hook and go underneath the first loop of the cross. So go underneath the first loop, and then using your crochet hook, pick up the second loop of the cross and pull it through. And you can then take your finger out, and there you have a magic circle, and we are ready to begin round one. So we are now on to round one of our hat, and to begin this round you want to chain one, and this chain one does not count as a stitch. This just locks our magic circle into place. And our round one is very simple. We are just going to do 12 double crochets into the magic circle. So 12 double crochets. So to do a double crochet, yarn over and go down into the magic circle, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through the final 2 loops on your hook. So there we have 1 double crochet, and now yarn over, go back down into the magic circle and do a second one in the exact same way. So there we have 2, and keep going until you have 12 double crochets. So I have just finished working those double crochets, and now to finish off round one, we need to close up our magic circle and join. So to close up your magic circle, take your end or your tail here and simply pull this nice and tight. So pull it as tight as you can, and that will close up the magic circle. And now to join, we are going to do a slip stitch into the first double crochet that we worked. So here is the first double crochet, and if you're not sure which stitch to go into, count back 12 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12, and that will take you to the stitch that you need to do a slip stitch into. So insert your hook into this stitch, then yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook. And there we have finished round one, and now we are ready to move on to round two. So we are now on to round 2, and to begin this round, chain 1, and this chain 1 does not count as a stitch. So now in round 2, we are going to do 2 double crochets into every single stitch. So into each stitch around, we're going to do 2 double crochets. So yarn over and go down into this very first stitch here. So this is the stitch that our chain 1 comes out of, and do 1 double crochet. And then yarn over and go back down into the same stitch again and do a second double crochet. And now yarn over and go into the next stitch and do 2 double crochets into this one, like that. And now do the same thing into the next stitch, 2 double crochets. and just continue this all the way around for round 2. So I have just finished working that all the way around for round 2, and at the end of this round you should have 24 double crochets. And now to finish off this round, we're going to do a slip stitch into the first double crochet that we worked. So here is the first double crochet, and make sure that you're not going down into the little chain 1, but that you're going into the double crochet. And if you're not sure which stitch to go into, then you can count back 24 stitches and insert your hook into that stitch, the first double crochet of the round, and yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook. So there we have finished round 2, and we're ready to move on to round 3. So to begin round 3, chain 1, and this chain 1 does not count as a stitch. So now in round 3 we're going to do 1 double crochet into the first stitch, but then 2 double crochets both into the next stitch, then 1 double crochet into the next stitch, but then 2 double crochets both into the next one, and we're just going to repeat that all the way around. So 1 2 1 2 1 2 all the way around for round 3. So yarn over and go down into this very first stitch that our chain 1 comes out of, and do 1 double crochet. So there we have 1 double crochet into the first stitch, but now into this next stitch we're going to do 2 double crochets. So yarn over, go into this next stitch and do 1, then go back down into the same stitch again and do a second one. So there we have 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets. So now into the next stitch do 1 double crochet, but into the next stitch do 2 double crochets both into this stitch. And you just want to continue that all the way around. 1 2 1 2 1 2. So I am just coming to the end of round 3, and I have done 2 double crochets into this very last stitch. And now to finish off the round, we're going to do a slip stitch into the first double crochet that we worked. So here is the first double crochet, go down into this stitch and work a slip stitch. So there we have finished round 3, and we're ready to move on to the next round. So we are now on to round 4 of our hat, and to begin this round you want to chain 1, and this chain 1 never counts as a stitch. So now in this round we're going to do 1 double crochet into the first stitch, 1 double crochet into the next stitch, but then 2 double crochets both into the next stitch, then 1 into the next one, 1 into the next, 2 into the next, 1 1 2 1 1 2 all the way around. So start off by yarning over and going down into this very first stitch here and doing 1 double crochet. So do 1 double crochet into the first stitch and then yarn over, go down into the next stitch and do 1 double crochet into this one as well. But then into the next stitch we're going to do 2 double crochets. So go into this stitch and do 2 double crochets like that. So there we have 1, 1, 2, and we're just going to repeat that all the way around. So do 1 double crochet into the next stitch, 1 into the next, but then 2 into the next, and then repeat that again. 1 into the next, 1 into the next, but then 2 double crochets both into the next stitch, and continue to repeat that all the way around for this round. So I have just finished working that all the way around for round 4, and this is what you should have. And then to finish off this round, we're going to do a slip stitch into the first double crochet. And now we're ready to move on to round 5. So to begin this round, chain 1, and this chain 1 never counts as a stitch. So now in round 5, we're going to do 1 double crochet into the first 3 stitches, but then 2 double crochets into the next one, then 1 double crochet into 3 more stitches, and 2 double crochets both into the next, all the way around. So we're doing 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, all the way around for round 5. So to start off, yarn over and go down into this very first stitch here and do 1 double crochet, then do 1 double crochet into the next one, and then 1 double crochet into the next stitch. So there we have 3 double crochets, 1 into each stitch, and now we're going to go into this next stitch and do 2 double crochets. So there we have done 1, 1, 1, 2, and now we're going to repeat that again and just continue to repeat that all the way around. 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2. So I have finished working that all the way around for round 5, and I have done 2 double crochets into this last stitch. And now to finish off, go into the first double crochet of the round and do a slip stitch. So there we have finished round 5, and we are ready to move on to round 6. So we are now on to round 6, and to begin this round you want to chain 1, and this chain 1 never counts as a stitch. So now in this round we are going to be starting our shell stitch. So we're going to be starting the shells. So to start off, we're going to go down into this very first stitch of the round and do a single crochet. So insert your hook down into this first stitch that our chain 1 comes out of, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook. So there we have a single crochet into that first stitch there, and now you want to skip 2 stitches, so skip 1 and 2, and then into this next stitch we are going to do our very first shell. And to do a shell, we do 5 double crochets all into the same stitch. So we have done single crochet, skip 2 stitches, and then into this next stitch we're going to do 5 double crochets or a shell. So yarn over, go down into this stitch and do 1 double crochet, then do a second one into the same stitch, then a third, fourth, and finally a fifth. So there we have done our very first shell, and now you want to skip 2 stitches. So skip 1 and 2. And we're going to repeat that all the way around for this round. We're going to do a single crochet into 1 stitch, skip 2 stitches, then do a shell into the next stitch, then skip 2 more stitches, then do a single crochet into the next one, skip 2 stitches, a shell or 5 double crochets into the next stitch, then skip 2 more stitches all the way around. So we have done single crochet, skip 2, shell, skip 2. So now we're going to begin our next repetition. So go down into this next stitch here and do 1 single crochet, then skip 1 and 2. Then into this next stitch we're going to do a shell, and when we do a shell we do 5 double crochets. So yarn over, go into this stitch and do 5 double crochets. Like that, and then skip 2 more stitches. So there we have done our next repetition, and we're going to do that again. Single crochet into the next stitch, skip 2 stitches, then do a shell, like that, and then skip 2 more stitches, and just continue to repeat that all the way around. So I have come to the end of round 6. So I have done my last shell here and then skipped the very last 2 stitches. And now to finish off this round, we're going to do a slip stitch into the first single crochet. So here's the first single crochet. Insert your hook into this stitch and do a slip stitch. And now we are ready to move on to round 7. So we are now on to round 7, and to begin this round, chain 1, and this chain 1 never counts as a stitch. So now to start off this round, we're going to go down into this very first stitch here. So this is the first single crochet from last round, and we're going to do 5 double crochets or a shell. So yarn over and go down into this first stitch and do 5 double crochets, and that will give us a shell. Like that. So there we have a shell into that first stitch. And now what we're going to do is we're going to skip on to this first shell from last round, and we're going to go into the middle of this shell and work a single crochet. So we have 5 double crochets here, and we need to go to the middle, so we're going to go to the third one. So 1, 2, 3, and into this stitch do 1 single crochet. So there we have done a single crochet into the top of that shell, and now we're going to skip on to the next single crochet from last round. So here you can see we have the little single crochet in between the shells, and into this single crochet we're going to do a shell or 5 double crochets. So yarn over, go down into this stitch and do a shell. So like that. So there we have done a shell into that single crochet, and now we're going to move on to the next shell from last round, and we're going to go in the middle of this shell and do a single crochet. So count 1, 2, 3, go into this stitch and do 1 single crochet. And you want to repeat that all the way around for round 7. Whenever we get to a single crochet from last round, we are going to do a shell. And then whenever we get to a shell from last round, we're going to go in the middle of this shell or into the 3rd double crochet, and we're going to do a single crochet. Then do a shell into this next single crochet, then do a single crochet into this next shell, and just repeat shell, single crochet, all the way around, working your shells into the single crochets from last round and working your single crochets into the middle of the shells. So we're going to go to this next single crochet and do a shell, like that, and then move on to the next shell, go into the middle and do a single crochet, and just continue that all the way around for round 7. So I'm just coming to the end of round 7, so I have done my last single crochet here, and now to finish off this round we're going to do a slip stitch into the first double crochet that we worked. So here is our first shell, and you want to go to the very first double crochet of this shell and work a slip stitch. And now we are ready to move on to round 8. So we are now on to round 8, and to begin this round we need to get to the middle of this first shell here. So we finished off round 7 by doing a slip stitch into the first double crochet of this shell. And now to begin round 8, we're going to go into the next double crochet of the shell. So go into this next stitch here and do another slip stitch. So do a slip stitch into the next stitch to begin round 8. And now you can see we are in the middle of this shell. So now we're going to chain 1, and the chain 1 never counts as a stitch. And then we're going to go into the next stitch, and this should be the 3rd double crochet of the shell, and we're going to do a single crochet. So go down into this next stitch and do a single crochet. And now we're going to skip on to the next single crochet here from last round, and into this single crochet we're going to do a shell. So yarn over, go into the single crochet and do 5 double crochets. Like that. And now we're going to move on to the next shell here from last round, and we're going to go in the middle, so into the 3rd double crochet and do a single crochet. Then move on to the next single crochet here and do a shell into this stitch. And you just want to repeat that all the way around. So we're doing the exact same thing as last round. It's just that this round starts in a different way. So just continue working single crochet shell, all the way around for round 8. And you should be working your single crochets into the middle or the top of the shells from last round, and then you should work your shells into the single crochets from last round. So we're going to do single crochet shell, all the way around for round 8. It's just the same thing as last round, it's just that the start is different. So I have finished working that all the way around for round 8, and I have done my very last shell here, And then to finish off this round, we're going to do a slip stitch into the first single crochet. So here's the single crochet, go into this stitch and do a slip stitch. So there we have finished round 8 and we are ready to move on to the next round. So we are now on to round 9 and the rest of our hat is very simple. We are just going to repeat rounds 7 and 8, so the last 2 rounds that we just did, again and again and again until you feel that your hat is long enough. So we have just finished round 8, so now we will do round 7 again, then round 8, then round 7, then round 8, and keep going until you have the length that you want. So those 2 rounds are very similar, it's just that they start in different ways. So for round 7 you start off with a chain 1 and then you do a shell down into this first single crochet here, then do a single crochet and then do shell single crochet, shell single crochet all the way around for round 7, finishing off with a slip stitch into the first double crochet that you worked. And then to begin round 8, you want to do a slip stitch into the next double crochet to get you to the middle of the shell, then chain 1 and do a single crochet into the next stitch, then do a shell into the next single crochet and then do single crochet shell all the way around for round 8, finishing off with a slip stitch into the first single crochet that you worked. And then you want to do round 7 again, then round 8, then round 7, 8, 7, 8 until you have the length that you want. And you may be able to remember those rounds, or you can go back in the video and re-watch those 2 rounds as many times as you like. So just keep repeating rounds 7 and 8 until you have the right length. So I have finished working my repeats and I ended up repeating those 2 rounds 3 times. So I did rounds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then I did 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8. And then once I got to the very end of my last repetition, I fastened off, so pulled my yarn out and my hook and cut my yarn. And then you want to go ahead and weave all of your ends into the inside of your hat to make sure that they are nice and secure. And then to finish off, I added a little butterfly button here at the front. And I have finished. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it easy to follow. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel for more crochet videos, and in the description box below this video I will leave a link to where you can find my Twitter account. So if you would like to go and follow me on there, I always like to post updates and pictures of upcoming tutorials, and I would love to see photos of your crochet work on Twitter as well. So if you do make this hat, it would be great to see a photo of it on Twitter. And in the description box, I will also leave a link to where you can find some of my written patterns if you are interested. So I have made some of my most popular tutorials available as written patterns, and I will have a link to where you can find them in the description box. And thank you again for watching. Bye!